know that song? No. Maybe I'll do something else. Let's try it, okay? My faith looks up to thee, thou Lamb of Calvary, Savior divine. Now hear me while I pray, take all my guilt away. Oh, let me from this day be holy thine. You recognize it now? Does everybody recognize the song? Okay, you got it. May thy rich grace impart strength to my fainting heart, my zeal inspire, as thou hast died for me. Oh, may my love to thee pure, warm, and changeless be a living fire. Last verse. When ends life's transient dream, when death's cold sullen stream shall o'er me roll, blessed Savior, then in love, fear and distrust remove. Oh, bear me safe above a ransom soul. Well, y'all did great for not knowing the song. Very good. All right, let's go, Lord, in prayer. Does anybody have a prayer request? Spoken request? I was working today, and the guy came to our regular UPS drivers come in and pick up stuff, and RPS drivers, or FedEx drivers come in and pick up stuff, and the FedEx driver came in, and he was unfamiliar. We didn't know. I didn't know him. He came to the wrong door and everything. He said, your regular drivers got called away because his 5-year-old son, his son is missing. 5-year-old son. So I don't know, but they found him. They found him by now, but that was just I can't imagine that the 5-year-old boy being missing, and you go find him. So hopefully they got him by now. All right. So if he's not been found, pray for that situation. If he has been found, pray that everything's okay. All right. Anybody else? Okay. Anyone else with a spoken request? Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Anybody with unspoken requests? Let's go Lord, prayer. To Heavenly Father, thank you for your love and mercy and your goodness to us, and thank you for your provision for us. I pray for this family that's lost a baby, that you'll comfort their hearts. I pray for the man facing surgery and decisions to be made. I pray for the child that was lost, that they haven't found him by now, that they find him soon. And pray for each situation, unspoken requests. But you know the needs of each one here, and the uplifted hands, and the requests that we have around our hearts, and some things that are on our mind and on our heart all the time. I pray you work in those situations, give us guidance and wisdom in our decisions. And I pray you bless our church family and all those who are sick tonight and aren't here, that you give them a quick recovery from whatever virus is going around, that they'll feel better tomorrow and get back with us on by Sunday. And pray for all of our classrooms and for the lost people that are with us tonight, that we'll see them saved. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen. I was witnessing somebody today, and I'm like, why not tonight? Why not right now? Why don't you get saved right now? And it's on my heart, and I was like, you guys, why not? Why not today? There's no reason. I says, there's a reason. Is there any reason not to get saved? No, just not today. It's okay. Man, it's sad because I don't think that person particularly, I think would have a great life if they realized how much God loved them, and they could walk, bask in the sunshine of His love. Well, Brother John, I don't bask in the sunshine of God's love, but you can. And as a child of God, you're forgiven. Your sins are forgiven, and He's your Father, and He wants what's best. He knows what's best for you, and will guide you. But this person doesn't want that. I guess they say, okay, it's your choice. Okay, it's sad. Okay, a couple events. Friday, January 24th is youth service at Grace Gospel Baptist Church. in Ripley at 7 o'clock. We will plan to leave the church at 6 o'clock. There's no cost for this activity, and there's a sign-up sheet in the back. Should be a sign-up sheet in the back by now. So now they need to know how many people are coming, so they'll know how much food to prepare. So food, I'm in, okay? And plus I want to go. I want to hear this guy preach, so we heard a little bit about it. Charlie, means you can take the whole family, or you can get Cindy to go with us, however you want to do it. Just, it's for youth, and they didn't say what youth, they didn't set an age limit on it, okay? Then the lock-in is Friday, March 6th, and all the teens will go to that, and they will stay all night, and they have a preaching service, and they'll go bowling, and they'll go to the Y, and they'll go to ice skating, so I'll have a good time with that. Well, I'll have a lot of fun. Okay, anybody got testimony? God's blessed you some way, you want to tell everybody about it? This is my testimony. I don't know how good this is. I read every morning, and I enjoy reading every morning. I pray every morning. I enjoy praying every morning. And for the last month, there's been a couple of nights where I had to work out of town, which is very seldom. Last 10 years, I hadn't hardly stayed 10 nights out of town probably, but twice in the last month I had to stay out of town. And being lock yourself in the hotel room and not leave the building, except of course they get breakfast there at the hotel. But just not leave the building, go in and sit and read. And I enjoyed the football game Monday night. Anybody watch the football game Monday night? Some of it? Okay. I enjoyed the football game, but I started reading, and I wrote out tonight's lesson. I wrote out Sunday morning's message. I wrote out Sunday morning Sunday school class. I just had a great time just sitting there reading, and just to me, it's just tremendous. What's the coach of the LSU? What's his name? Ogeron? Is that how you pronounce it? Okay. Some of you have heard. Did you watch the ball game? Okay. Have you heard that coach speak? Okay. Yeah. There's a sermon illustration I've given a dozen times about my. Okay. Okay. Well, I've given the illustration a dozen times about my uncle, is my mom's sister, that sounded like a drill sergeant all his life. I mean, when my dad was, both hips replaced, both knees replaced, and he's walking with a walker. Uncle Ed was, straighten up, George, you're walking like an old man. And he's 78 years old or whatever. Straighten up. Dad had to throw the cane away because Uncle Ed would make him, and he would pain every step, but he was walking straight just because he sounded just without the Cajun accent part of it, just how that coach speaks, like he's barking all the time. I love that voice. But anyway, that's the way. And I thought of it when I was watching that ball game the other night. I thought, because that coach was in the movie Blindside. But anyway, when I listened to him speak, I thought of Uncle Ed, and I got, I don't know, it meant a lot to me. Just brought back memories of my uncle, who was a great guy. Okay. Anybody have testimonies? I was just rambling. Okay, open your Bibles to 2 Kings chapter. We'll read 2 verses in chapter 9, and we're going to skip over to chapter 11. The 2 verses in chapter 9 are going to be a review of what we went through last week. Second Kings chapter 9. Look down at the verse 7 and 8. I guess 2 verses. And that's what smite this. This is God's command from Elijah to a prophet, the preacher boy, to Jehu. Okay, verse 7, chapter 9, verse 7. And I shall smite the house of Ahab thy master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of the Lord, at the hand of Jezebel. For the whole house of Ahab shall perish, and I will cut off from Ahab him that pisses against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. And I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha and the son of Ahijah. Look up this way real quick, because we went through this whole story of Jehu last Wednesday night, where God said, okay, northern kingdom of Israel, southern kingdom, northern kingdom is called Israel, and southern kingdom is called what? Judah. Very good. So last week we talked about the judgment in the northern kingdom, and God sent Jehu to be a king and to wipe out everybody that was associated with Ahab and Jezebel. Remember, he went to the tower where Jezebel was. Ahab's already gone, but they've killed her son, they've killed everybody because they're wicked people. They've led the people into idolatry, to worshiping Baal. And so Jehu and his men ride up to this tower where Jezebel is, and they said, "Who's on the Lord's side?" And a couple of eunuchs in there say, "We are." And they said, "Throw her down." They threw her out the window at the tower, and they just trampled on her, and the blood splattered everywhere, and the dogs ate her. And John, you kind of like that story, yeah? Because bad people, you want to see that happen sometimes to bad people. Okay. So there's more to the story. Was everybody here last week? We went through Jehu. I mean, they went to the tower. They went to the tower, the temple of Baal, and they said, "Bring all the worshipers of Baal in," and they killed them all. Okay, because they weren't worshiping God. And a lot of times Baal, a lot of idolatry, where they had child sacrifices and bad things in their worship, but they weren't worshiping God. And then they end up turning the house of Baal into basically a septic tank. Okay, the draught house for the city. Can you imagine that? The people that are worshiping a false god who can't do anything anyway, then the children of God go back and make their church house into it's just a big, huge septic tank. Oh, John, you find humor in that? Yes, I do. Okay, okay. Now, that is the northern kingdom. That's judgment on the northern kingdom. The southern kingdom, which is Judah, had been heading the same direction. If evil is that direction, Israel's 2 steps ahead of Judah, but Judah's been following right behind them. So turn to chapter 11. We'll go read a couple of verses because last week we talked about the judgment on the northern kingdom. Now we'll go to Judah. The king of Judah was Ahaziah, and he was killed. Ahaziah was killed when Jehu killed Joash. I think it's Joash, the king of the northern kingdom. Okay. Chapter 11. I'm going to start reading right verse 1. Okay, let's stop right. Look at this way. Okay, southern kingdom. When the king of the southern kingdom died, when Jehu killed the northern kingdom king, Ahaziah had gone to see him, was with him, so Jehu killed him too, because he was partnering up with the northern kingdom. So when word came that the king of Judah, the southern kingdom, was dead, his mother took control. Her name is Athaliah. We're going to read what happens. This is the first Queen Bee story in the Bible, okay? Chapter 11, verse 1. And when Athaliah, that's the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the seed royal. That means all of this, everybody that she could find that was of the descendants of David, King David. But Jehosheba, the daughter of Joram, sister of Ahaziah, took Joash, the son of Ahaziah, and stole him from among the king's sons, which were slain. And they hid him, even him and his nurse, in the bedchamber from Athaliah, so that he was not slain. So here's a little boy. It doesn't say how old he was. Okay, he's old enough to have a nurse and be able to hide somewhere. Okay, verse 3. He was with her, hid in the house of the Lord 6 years, and Athaliah did reign over the land. Stop reading right there. Here we go. So Athaliah, her son is the king. He is killed, so she wants to rule now because her husband was a king, now and her son becomes king. So now that her husband is gone, and now that her son's been killed, she says it's my turn. Okay, it's polite. I can't mention names. We'll lose our tax exemption. This reminds me of some female political leaders that you think would kill everybody around them just to make sure that they could reign. Okay, and that's exactly what she does. All of her husband's other children, where she had other children, and all of her husband's other children, or niece, nephew, whoever it was, anybody that was related to the king that would be in line for the kingdom, she had them all killed. Okay. And she would have killed this little baby too, but it doesn't say. And I kept looking back and seeing if he was a year old, 2, 5, whatever age. And so his nurse hides him. They have some help. His little boy's aunt helps them, and they hide him. And then they sneak when everyone else is being killed. They sneak him out, and they take him to the house of the Lord, because this lady Athaliah is not going to go to the house of the Lord. Okay. She's not going to go worship God, so she never goes there for 5 years or 6 years. She never goes there, so she doesn't know that it's either her grandson. If I read this right, Charlie, I think it's this direct descendant that is her grandson, that she would have killed him too. And he is now growing up over in the house of the Lord, okay, the temple of God. Okay, now, we're going to read what happens. Look at verse 4 and 5. And in the 7th year of Jehoiada, he's a priest, and in the 7th year Jehoiada sent and fetched the rulers over hundreds with the captains and the guard, and brought them to him into the house of the Lord, and made a covenant with them, and took an oath of them in the house of the Lord, and showed them the king's son. So he's waited now 6 years. The priest is there raising this little boy, okay? And he hasn't told anybody. The nurse knows who it is, the priest knows who it is, and he hasn't told anybody, unless there's other people there serving right around the house of the Lord. Nobody knows who this kid is. So he brings him out and shows him to everybody. He brings all the captains of the hosts in and different ones in. He brings them all together. Says, "Look who we got." Okay, the real king. This kid's going to be the real king. Okay, okay. And he commanded, verse 5. And he commanded them, saying, "This is the thing that you shall do. A third part of you that enter this on the Sabbath day shall even be keepers of the watch of the king's house. A third part shall be at the gate of Shur, and the third part at the gate behind the guard. So shall you keep the watch of the house, that they be not broken down. And 2 parts of you they go forth on the Sabbath, even they shall keep the watch of the house of the Lord about the king. And you shall compass the king round about, every man with his weapons in his hand. And he that cometh within the ranges, let him be slain. And be you with the king as he goeth out, and as he cometh in." And the captains over the hundreds did according to all things that Jehoiada the priest commanded. And they took every man his men that were to come in on the Sabbath, and that with them that should go out on the Sabbath, and came to Jehoiada the priest. Stop reading right there. Look, it's pretty good plan that Jehoiada comes up with. I guess they had changing of the guard once a week. On the Sabbath day, certain men would be leaving, and then the next group would be coming in. Right? So they said, "You guys that are supposed to be leaving, you stay, and then the guys that are supposed to be coming in, you come in too." So we'll double the number, and there's a third group that comes in to join them. So it doesn't look like anything's going to happen until it does. And they anoint this young man king. He's 6 years old, or 7 years old at this time. And so they anoint him to be king. Okay. How many of you would rejoice if you knew something bad was going on, bad, and like this woman, this queen, has killed everybody around her, right? How do you think all the priests and the captain of the host, all these military guys that are around them, they know what's going on, and they see just like it's all of a sudden, here's an opportunity to do what's right, knowing all that has been done wrong for the last 6 years, and that woman being in charge, and all of a sudden, here we go, the opportunity. Man, I bet they're real excited about this. Problem is, they don't have much of an army. Okay, they have the guard that's going to be around them. Read another verse. They have one other thing. Okay. I lost it. Verse 10. And the captains over hundreds did the priests give King David's spears and shields that were in the temple of the Lord. Stop right there. And the guards stood, every man with his weapon in his hand, round about the king. Stop right there. Okay. If we back up 100 years in this story, David, who had been king, would go out and fight battles. Okay. And in the temple, he had these shields made of gold, and he had weapons. But when they defeat their enemies, a lot of times they just bring their weapons back into the house of the Lord. Just like when David killed Goliath, and when David had killed Goliath as a teenage boy, a few years later when he was running from Saul, he went to the priest, and the priest said, "I don't have any swords here except for Goliath that was back here." And they said, "That'll do." Remember, David took Goliath's sword. And the same thing happened when David, through his lifetime as king, had fought all these battles. He brought swords back in weapons, shields, spears, and brought it back into the house of the Lord. Okay. I read this. Spurgeon wrote this, and I never thought of it this way. So here, David's great grandson is going to be protected with men all around him by the weapons that David took in battle a couple hundred years before. Okay, so after reading this from Spurgeon, I thought of some other illustrations that people that I know and what's happened. This boy is protected by something his great-great-grandfather did. You ever do something you think nothing's come of it? Okay? You ever do something for somebody else, and you seem like a victory or whatever, you try to do something right, and you think, what good did it do at the end of it? You invest in somebody's life and you think, what good did it do? Or you do the right thing and you get rewarded for it, but what do you do with the reward? What happens? Okay, so you just store it back up. Here it is, several generations later. What David, the battles that he fought and the victories he won, are still reaping benefits because they have the weapons to protect his great-great-great-great-grandson. Okay, does that make sense? So a lot of times when you think, I've done something that doesn't do any good, you don't know what the end result is. David has been gone for a long time. He's playing tag with the angels at the time that the grandson is protected with these weapons. A lot of times you think, well, what good did it do? In 1980, Tammy and I got saved. About 1982 or 83, we started running the bus picking up kids. Because somebody else in my church was running the bus, and they said, can you start going with me on visitation? So Tommy, that was here in church a couple weeks ago, was on Sunday night. Tommy said, can you go visit with me, and then we'll go pick up kids on Sunday. So we started picking up kids on Sunday morning and Wednesday night, and had a good time bringing kids to church. And a lot of times through the years, I've thought about all those kids. We still have pictures. In one Tammy's Bible, she still has a picture of about 25 kids that rode to church with us every Sunday. How many of them ended up in church? None that I know of. Well, one, okay, out of the 25. How many of them ended up in prison? Several of them. You think, Brother John didn't do any good, okay? Years later, we hear of people that remember that we picked them up, or remember what we did with them as kids when nobody else would take them anywhere to do stuff with them, okay? And they remember that late. We found out this a couple stories just in the last year or so of kids that remember. But you think, did it do any good? Charlie, you ever teach kids at school and you think, Marie, you think, did they? Okay, you ever invest in somebody else, Kathy, and you think, did it do any good? Did it help them at all? Okay? Sometimes it helps. It's just like in David's story with his great-great-great-great-grandson. And you think, what good did it do? Right? Solomon's grandson lost 88% of the kingdom. Okay? Out of the 11 tribes, he got to keep 2. So David's great-grandson made a bad mistake, lost almost the whole kingdom. And you think, did it help? A lot of times the help comes because of what you did, and you don't even know it, right? Did David, or where's John? Maybe David's looking over the throne of heaven, reaching over the bow, looking down. And they said, "Look, see those are weapons that you got. Maybe you got to see that. I had no idea." Okay. Just like we know the sins of the father sometimes are, God got to bring them back from the third and fourth generation of those. He said, those that hate me. You fight your battles. A lot of times, your grandchildren or great-grandchildren are going to reap the benefits of it, even if you don't see it at the time. Okay, chapter 12. We're looking at one more story about this kid. In the 7th year, chapter 12, a couple of verses. The king is Jehoash. Okay. In the 7th year of Jehoash began to reign, and 40 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. And Jehoash did that which was right in the sight of the Lord all his days, wherein Jehoiada the priest instructed him. Okay, stop reading. There's stuff he didn't do, verse 3, but the high places were not taken away, and the people still sacrificed and burn incense in the high places. So, but they're still sacrificing out there up on a mountain somewhere, and but they're sacrificing to God, but not bringing it to Jerusalem like they're supposed to. Okay. But Jehoash did that which was right in the sight of the Lord all the days wherein Jehoiada the priest instructed him. You know what else he did? Jehoash did this. He rebuilt it because he grew up in the house of the Lord, which my understanding is still Solomon's temple that he built, right? So because Jehoash grew up there, he could see the deterioration of the building. So after he was king for several years, he said, we need to repair the breaches. We need to work on the building. Because the church, to us, today's terminology, he said the church house is falling apart. And he grew up in that. That was like his house that he grew up in. He said, but John, you mean like he's like a little kid running through there? Yeah, he can go into the Holy of Holies, but he could see, we need to fix this. Okay? So as king, he said, we need to fix this. And he said, They gave money to the priest for years to fix it, but they didn't. The priest didn't do it. So he put a box up there, we drilled a hole in it, and said, okay, we'll make a free will offering. Whatever money comes in, we use to rebuild it, to fix the building. And more than enough money came in until they had to stop the money flow because all the money was coming in to fix the building. This kid who grew up in that church, Jehoiada the priest knew he was a king. Nobody else who would have ever seen him running around out there would have known who he was. Not knowing that he's going to reign someday and be their king. Also not knowing that he's going to say, let's fix the place. Okay? I think about this a lot of times. There's a lot of kids through the years that come through this church building. It was mentioned Sunday morning about how many hundreds of people have come through the 27 years, how many hundreds of different people have come through this church. We don't know which one. It might be one of the kids that's here tonight that rides on the van. It might be Charlie Boy. We don't know who's going to grow up in this church. He's going to come back someday and say, that's my church, we need to fix it. As the building deteriorates or as the numbers go down and we need to do something, that God could use that child, just like he used the child under the priest's leadership of the priest Jehoiada was the leadership of Jehoash, and say, to eventually some kid come back and say, we need to do that. We need to serve God. And he does that wholeheartedly. Okay? We have no idea. I think about the kids that are here tonight, whether boys or girls, or whoever it is, that will serve someday. Either in this building or one just like it, that will serve. Well, John, how do you know they're going to? You have no idea. But just like David, they don't have no idea what lesson you're going to teach, what job, what position you're going to hold, and influence you're going to have on somebody else, and the influence that's going to influence the next generation to do what's right. Or even 2 or 3 generations down the road to where someone does something. It may be Charlie Boy's great-grandson that is the greatest evangelist ever, or leads more people to Christ than anybody else. We have no idea. So what's that mean? Always keep doing always just keep doing what we're supposed to be doing until the Lord comes back. Any questions? How many of you seen investment? How many invest in somebody else and see it come out real good? You invest in one person, 2 people, 10 people, you see it come out real good. I have. Seen the investment pay off. Okay? How many invest in somebody and you always wonder if it's going to pay off? All right? I remember David Underwood talked about people. When he was still teaching, he talked about something that happened on the news. Some kid got in trouble on the west side. Yeah, I taught them in school too. I had him in shop class, or I had him in the behavioral disorder class, what it was called. And he said, but you never know which one's going to turn out right. Okay, so you keep investing. All right. Anybody else? Testimony, questions, comments? Okay, let's sing again. Johnny, why don't you want to pick a song? Something you know. You're sober, I don't know what page. I'll find it. Charlie likes to sing songs he knows. Page 45. It's in T. There is power in the blood. Page 45. Let's all stand and sing. There we go. Would you be free from the burden of sin? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would you or evil a victory win? There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Would you be free from your passion and pride? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Come for a cleansing to Calvary's tide. There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Last verse. Would you do service for Jesus your King? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would you live daily his praises to sing? There's wonderful power in the blood. There is power, power, a wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. All right, Marlon dismisses. Thanks for coming out tonight.